Hello and welcome to a new episode of Adobe Creative Cloud TV. My name is Terry White, and in this episode we're going to take a look at what's new in Adobe Muse CC November 2013. That's right, it's November, and we've got a new Muse update. And Muse keeps delivering on the promise of Creative Cloud that there will be frequent updates that are feature-based that you don't have to wait 18 to 24 months for. So a prime example of that is we got a new feature update today. And this feature update has 5 major new things. So I'm going to jump in and show you what they are. The first one actually isn't really inside of Muse, but it ties into Muse. Let's go take a look. So I'm in Muse CC right now, but before we dive into doing things inside of Muse, what I'm going to do is head over to my web browser, because in my web browser I'm going to show you the brand new Adobe Muse Exchange. So muse.adobe.com/exchange is the thing that people have been asking me for the most. You now have the ability to go grab items from the community to use inside your Muse site. So here's a guy who did, or guy or gal who did Google Analytics. Here's another example from that same Muse grid where they basically gave you a QR code builder for Muse. They're templates, they're items, they're all kinds of things to make your site better. So now if you were saying, hey, I need something, I want to put something on my site, more than likely now there will be someone in the Muse community in Muse Exchange that has built that for you to just simply download at no additional charge for you to use in your site freely. So Muse Exchange, go ahead and check it out. And that's the number one new thing inside of Muse CC. So let's take a look at number 2. I'm going to head over to Muse, and it kind of relates to this. Now we have a brand new library panel, and that library panel of course ties in with the Exchange. If you go to Exchange and download something, it will more than likely install inside the library. But that's not just for things that you go grab on Muse Exchange, it's actually for you as well. I've created a folder in the library called Terry White, and I've added some items to that folder that I frequently use or frequently demo. So for example, I typically demo building a photography site, and I use my own logo. So now I don't have to go fishing around my hard drive looking for that logo anymore, because I've simply placed it on the page once and then added it to the library so I can always grab it again. So now if I want to use that item, I can just go ahead and click, drag it on the page. It even remembered the size that I scaled it down to the first time I used it, and brings it in at that size. And of course I can scale it down further, rotate it, or do anything I want without affecting the library item. So that is a library item now in Muse CC. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because the next one's going to require me to do some scrolling. So we're just going to go ahead and pull down this page, make it nice and longer. And if you haven't guessed yet, this next one has to do with scroll effects. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down the page, get near the bottom here. And one of the library items I have is a leaf that I've gone ahead, I've demoed this a million times using the scroll effects panel. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull that leaf in, and we're just going to pull it up and just move it wherever we want on the page. Now you'll notice that this one already has a scroll effect on it. We can tell by the long extension on the handle, but there are multiple keyframes. There's the first keyframe that we know and love that affects the scroll motion of before and after this keyframe. But you notice there's a circle down here, and there's a circle up here. What are those? Well, if we head over to the scroll effects, the motion tab is what we're used to. But now there are 3 new tabs in scroll effects. The first new tab actually is opacity, and that's what the circles are. They control the amount of opacity before the main keyframe and after it. So before the keyframe, it's going to come in at 0% and fade up to 100% by the time it reaches the keyframe. And then after the keyframe, it's going to start to fade out back down to 0%. So that's a long-standing request. People love the scroll effects, but they want things to scroll in and appear and then disappear as they scroll out, instead of just scrolling on and off the page. Now the other 2 tabs, one of which we'll get a chance to see in just a moment, but the third one is dealing with slideshows. So if you use a scroll effect now on a slideshow, you can have that slideshow automatically play or switch every so many pixels as it's scrolling. So imagine you're telling a story down the page and the slides are changing as the person scrolls down the page. awesome to be able to do that. Last but not least is one we'll see an example of, and it's Edge Animate. Edge Animate, of course, is our HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript-based animation tool. And this one allows me to now not only bring in Edge Animate files, which I could do before, but I can now animate or turn them on or switch frames as the person is scrolling. So for example, in my library, I have an animation. I'm just going to go ahead and drag that one in as well. It's an Edge Animate. I've already applied the scroll effects to it. And we'll just go ahead and see what that does as we scroll down the page now. So let's see what these both look like. I'm going to preview page in browser. And when I scroll down the page, we will see the leaf, and we'll see the animation. Oh, we missed almost part of it. It played too soon. I just need to move it up. But we'll see the leaf fade in, and we'll see the animation play and the leaf fade out. So here, let me go back to Muse. Let me move this up a little bit more. And now let's preview this page again in browser and see if we can catch that animation as we scroll. So here we go. We scroll down. There's our animation, and there's our leaf. So having the scroll affect the actual animation playback and the leaf fading in and out. And of course, that could also be applied to a slideshow. It could also play the slideshow frame by frame or autoplay, or the Edge Animate frame by frame or autoplay. So scroll effects just got a whole lot better in Muse CC, and that is the number 3 new thing. So what's number 4? Number 4 is all about social. So let's head over to the widget library. And in the widget library, there's a brand new folder, and that new folder is the social folder. So when I twirl it down, I get all kinds of social things I can add to my site, which most of you add anyway, but you have to go out and grab the code for it. So for example, if I wanted people to like my page, I can just drag a Facebook like button right onto the page, and then people will be able to like this particular page when they sign in or sign up for Facebook. If I want people to follow me, I can drag the Facebook follow widget on, and I can then go in and customize it with, of course, mine instead of the default Adobe Muse. Actually, it's Terry White Fans on Facebook. So, and that will then allow people to follow my fan page right here on my web page. So the ability to do that with Facebook is great, but of course people also like Twitter. So let's go ahead and do a Twitter follow. We'll go ahead and just pull that in as well. And once again, I'll change that to my Twitter handle, which is Terry L. White. And once I do that, it will update, go out on the internet, find my followers, my number of followers, and then if people click that, they'll be able to follow me directly on Twitter. So that's great for the social networks. And of course, there's Twitter, Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, all the things that you would expect. But what about video? That's right. Video is here and easier now. We could always grab the embed code and insert the HTML, but now there's a Vimeo widget and a YouTube widget built right in. So if I just drag on the YouTube widget or the Vimeo widget, it will bring up a default video, which by the way, it's my default video. It's my How to Get Started with Muse. So if you just want to watch that video on your page, you can. But chances are you're going to want to replace it with one of your own videos. So you just head over to YouTube or Vimeo and find the video you want to use. And there's always a code or identifier, a unique one for each video on YouTube. So this is the actual video itself. So if I copy that and just go back to the widget and paste that in over the top of the old one, and then if I click off of it, in a few seconds it'll update with that particular video. So now, and I can also size this. I can make this bigger and put this anywhere I want on my page. And once people preview this page in browser, or once you upload this to your site, they will have the YouTube video, they'll have the social media links. You are following Terry White, be the first of your friends to like this page, and my Twitter, and of course the scroll effects as well with the animation and opacity. So very cool to be able to do all this now even easier and faster inside of Adobe Muse, but I saved the best for last. Let's head back to Muse and let's go ahead and create a new page. I'm going to create a new page, and on that new page, which we would eventually link to, I want to put a slideshow on it, but we have a brand new slideshow. It's the slideshow my photographer friends and I have been waiting for since Muse came out, and that's, you guessed it, a full screen slideshow. No more little dinky slideshows that you wish were bigger. You just drag this baby on your page anywhere you want and it takes over the whole page. That's right, because it's full screen. So now I can just go ahead and grab my images. We're going to go ahead and go to my site here where I've got a slideshow of my own photos here. We'll just go ahead and grab those and put them in. By the way, thanks Muse team for having it automatically get rid of the sample photos, which that used to bug me to no end. And now we can go ahead and turn on and off our settings here. I want to turn off the counter. I can turn the previous and next buttons off, but I'll leave them on. And now let's preview this. Let's go back to the page actually. Preview the page in browser and see that it takes over my entire browser and then starts to play this slideshow, and it's nicely responsive as well. So for example, if I could grab the edge of this here, if I scale this down, the slideshow scales nicely with it because it is full screen. So whether they're looking at it on a mobile phone, a tablet, or a full screen computer, no matter how big the monitor is, that slideshow will scale and fill up the page. So photographers rejoice because Muse just got a whole lot better for a photography website, giving you the option now of having a full screen slideshow. So with that, the last thing, which would be technically a number 6, but it's always ongoing, is that we've made code improvements. We always make code improvements to every version of Muse, so the code just keeps getting better, better, and better. And with that update is available today. If you don't see it in your Creative Cloud app, you'll see it soon. Thanks again for watching. My name's Terry White, and we'll catch you on the next one.